You wake up already worried about what someone might think. You second-guess a message. You replay conversations in your head. It drains your peace, but still you care. Why? Because deep down, you want to be liked. You want to be approved. But approval is a cage, and most people never escape it. Marcus Aurelius did. As emperor of Rome, he faced judgment from every side. And yet, he chose to be ruled not by others, but by reason, by truth, by virtue. His private writings reveal a method. Not a tactic. A mindset. One that frees you from the burden of opinion. One that returns power to its rightful place, inside you. If you've ever cared too much about what others think, this is for you. Subscribe to Stoic Legacy if you believe freedom starts within. Now let's begin. Practice number 1. Remember who owns your mind. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning that his mind was his kingdom. Not the Senate's. Not the Roman mobs. Not even his closest advisors. Just his. You need to do the same. When someone criticizes you, they are not entering your mind. You are letting them in. When you obsess over their judgment, you are surrendering the most sacred thing you own. Epictetus said, "You are not disturbed by things, but by your opinion about things." So if you can choose your opinion, you can choose your peace. You do not have to argue. You do not have to explain. You do not have to be understood. You only have to live in alignment with your principles. That is freedom. That is self-rule. The moment you take full ownership of your thoughts, the moment you stop outsourcing your peace, is the moment you become untouchable. Do not abandon your post. Guard your mind like a fortress. Let reason be your king. Practice number 2. Your judgment hurts more than their words. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it." That is the key. Most people believe they are hurt by other people's words. But the real wound comes from within. It comes from agreeing with the insult, repeating it in your mind, or letting it shape your self-image. The Stoic does not give that power away. You cannot stop others from speaking, but you can stop granting their voice authority. The moment you recognize this, you become free. You stop reacting. You stop overthinking. You see their words for what they are, just sounds in the air, not facts about your worth. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." You are the final judge. So be a fair one. Be a strong one. Refuse to be a prisoner of someone else's noise. Master your judgment, and you master your peace. Practice number 3. You're going to die. So what are you waiting for? Marcus Aurelius did not run from the thought of death. He invited it into his daily reflections, like a compass pointing him toward truth. In Meditations, he wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." That was not fear talking. That was freedom. Because once you truly see how little time you have, you stop giving pieces of your life away for approval. You stop delaying your mission just to be liked. You stop walking on eggshells to avoid judgment from people who have no idea what your soul came here to do. Memento mori. Remember that you must die. Not to be morbid, but to remind yourself that every second matters. Do you really want to spend your one and only life chasing claps from people who barely know themselves? Do you want to silence your vision for a few nods and fake smiles? The Stoics knew better. They knew that when death becomes real, your priorities sharpen. You begin to act with courage. Speak with honesty. Move with power. What you do begins to matter more than what they say. Let the awareness of death burn away the fog of insecurity. Let it reveal who you truly are and what you must do before your final breath. Because their opinions will be buried with them. But your legacy, your virtue, Your impact, that's what lives on. Practice number 4. Tie your worth to virtue. Not applause. Marcus Aurelius warned himself against chasing praise. He knew how tempting it was to crave validation, to feel worthy only when others approved. But he also knew how fragile that kind of self-worth was. In his meditations, he reminded himself, ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. You were not made to dance for applause. You were made to live by principle. When you base your value on how others respond, you hand them control over your peace. One harsh word breaks you. One cold glance makes you question your worth. But when you anchor your identity to virtue, to honesty, courage, discipline, and kindness, then you stand tall even in silence. You don't need noise. You don't need claps. You need truth. Applause fades. Reputation shifts. But the man who wakes up and lives rightly, even when no one is watching, walks with quiet power. That's what Marcus did. He ruled Rome, yet never let the throne rule him. You can be the same. Rule your own life. Do what's right, not what's liked. Let virtue be your mirror. Let your soul be proud of you. Not your followers. Not your critics. Not even your friends. Just you. That's enough. That's everything. Practice number 5. Think like the logos. Not the crowd. Marcus Aurelius built his life on the principle of the logos, the rational and natural order that governs the universe. To him, wisdom didn't come from the cheers of the mob or the noise of the masses. It came from aligning with something deeper, calmer, and eternal. The crowd is impulsive, emotional, driven by gossip and fear. One moment they worship you. The next, they forget you. But the logos remain steady. It is the truth that doesn't bend to popularity. When you care too much about what others think, you abandon your internal compass. You begin chasing reactions instead of reality. You follow the herd instead of your head. Marcus trained himself to return to reason with every decision. You must do the same. Ask yourself, is this action rooted in clarity or in fear? Am I doing this because it is right, or because I want to be liked? The man who thinks like the crowd will always be lost in it. But the one who thinks like the logos walks with peace, even in a noisy world. Practice number 6. Silence is strength. Not everyone deserves your energy. Marcus Aurelius believed that true power lies not in reacting, but in restraint. When someone insults you, provokes you, or misunderstands you, the world expects a reaction. But the Stoic gives none. He remains still. Because he knows that not every battle is worth fighting. Not every opinion deserves a reply. Not every critic has earned your attention. Silence is not weakness. It is precision. It is the shield of the wise. It forces the world to face its own noise without your validation. The moment you stop explaining yourself is the moment you stop begging for permission to be yourself. Marcus wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." That is what silence achieves. It breaks the cycle. It keeps your energy where it belongs, with you. You do not have to justify your values to people who do not live by them. You do not have to respond to chaos with more chaos. You can walk away. You can breathe. You can let the storm pass, untouched. The louder the world gets, the more powerful your silence becomes. Practice number 7. Be the rock in the storm. Let opinion crash and fade. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a Stoic should be like a rock the waves keep crashing against. It stands unmoved, while the sea foams and rages around it. This is how you must handle opinion, judgment, gossip, rejection. Let them come. Let them try to shake you. But remain the rock. Still. Calm. Unbothered. Because what they say cannot harm you unless you let it in. The world will always have something to say. One moment they praise you, the next they condemn you. But truth does not change. And neither should you. Your power comes from holding your ground, not proving your point. From being firm in your purpose, not fragile in your popularity. People who ride every wave get lost at sea. But you are the one who anchors deep. Let the waves crash. Let the wind roar. Your strength is in your stillness. When you become the rock, the world loses its grip on your peace. Practice number 8. Remember, even the emperor was judged. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire of his time, yet even he was judged, criticized, misunderstood. If an emperor cannot escape judgment, what makes you think you ever will? People will always form opinions. Some will dislike you without reason. Some will project their own insecurities onto you. That is not your concern. Your concern is how you respond. Do you twist yourself trying to be liked? Or do you stand firm in who you are? Marcus chose the latter. He wrote not to impress others, but to discipline himself. He lived not for applause, but for integrity. He reminds you that no amount of power or goodness can protect you from being misjudged. So stop running from it. Face it with calm. Accept it as part of life. And keep walking your path. You were not born to be understood. You were born to live in truth. Judged or not, mocked or not, your peace must not depend on the shifting winds of public opinion. You are not here to please everyone. You are here to become who you truly are. Practice number 9. No one knows you like you do. The world sees fragments, but you live the whole story. Strangers, critics, and even friends often judge you based on a moment, a rumor, or a single choice. But only you know what led to that choice. Only you feel the weight of your responsibilities, your past, your growth, your silence. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that external judgment is shallow, partial, and often wrong. He wrote to himself, not the world, because the world cannot see the soul. It sees only the mask. You must stop adjusting your behavior for people who don't even know your true name. Stop seeking applause from those who would abandon you at the first mistake. Your value is not in their approval. It is in your intention, your character, your endurance. You are not obligated to explain your journey to anyone who wasn't there for the steps. Let your life be understood by the few who matter, not the many who guess. Peace begins when you no longer beg to be seen correctly. Peace begins when you see yourself with clarity. Practice number 10. Let the inner citadel protect you. Deep within you is a place no voice can touch, no opinion can shake. Marcus Aurelius called it the inner citadel, a stronghold built from reason, virtue, and self-command. This is where your peace lies. Not in praise. Not in reputation. Not in the rise and fall of other people's moods. When the world attacks you, mocks you, misunderstands you, the citadel remains untouched. But only if you learn to live there. Only if you return to it daily. When someone tries to shame you, ask, have I done anything wrong? If not, then the shame is theirs to carry. If yes, then correct it quietly. That is all. The citadel does not react with panic. It responds with principle. This is how you protect your soul in a world obsessed with appearances. You do not need the world to understand you. You need to understand yourself. Then build walls of silence and clarity around your peace. Let others shout. Let the winds howl. You are not the storm. You are the stone. You were not born to be liked. You were born to be free. Marcus Aurelius didn't escape judgment. He transcended it. Not by silencing the crowd, but by quieting his need for their approval. You now have that same choice. You can keep chasing validation and exhaust your spirit. Or you can walk the Stoic path, own your mind, and live by your principles. This is not about arrogance. This is about liberation. When you stop caring what others think, you don't become heartless. You become fearless. Your peace stops depending on the noise around you. Your power returns home. So hold the line. Strengthen your inner citadel. And remember, you were not made for applause. You were made for clarity, for courage, for truth. Stay stoic. And build your stoic legacy.